Welcome back to Sunday LA. Actually, back on a lunch shot. Look, there's Caldwell. Sitting right there, and we're excited right now because, okay. How cute is this? Snow White, of course, taught the Seven Dwarfs to whistle while you work. How often do you get that kind of introduction? Our guest this morning takes that to a new level. She whistles on a championship level. Carol Ann Kaufman calls herself a whistling diva. She is a two-time world whistling champion and the master of ceremonies for this year's and this weekend's, today's Chalk Festival in Pasadena. Good morning, Carol Ann. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Ted. It is just a pleasure to be here. What a gorgeous day in Los Angeles.
We're so excited to have you. Yes. Couldn't be a more perfect day.
Truly.
And by the end of this interview, we're going to have everybody whistling.
That is my plan. Yes.
Maybe in the Lakewood Parade tomorrow.
That's we're keeping our fingers crossed for a last-minute call. So
we get 2 million people to whistle at the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of like those horns of the World Cup.
Oh my goodness, those obnoxious horns that they want to outlaw.
Carol, tell us how you've been whistling since you were 5. I think I read in your bio. Did your parents just notice, this girl has a gift? How did it all come about, and how did you realize you were good at this?
Well, it all started just like every whistler starts. A parent, a cousin, an uncle starts to whistle. You get interested, and so my dad was an amazing whistler. So happy Father's Day, Dad!
So it's genetic.
It's kind of genetic by osmosis, sort of a genetic osmosis thing that could happen. Maybe not necessarily internal genetics, but some new concept I'm inventing.
Ted's family whistle then.
Oh, right, that's what it was. The external genetics is something I'm also working on, but whole nother conversation. Anyway.
Does it take a lot of training and a lot of nurture to become a world champion?
Well, I always say it all begins with your first, your first squeak is really, and then from there, you kind of get familiar with how your mouth makes notes. And from there, it's 30 years of practice, and hey, you could be a world champion too.
So you do have to practice.
You have to practice a lot, just like any other instrument in the world.
And do you have to wet your whistle a lot?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? A lot of
Constantly.
Liquids and,
Yes, I've got
foods,
foods
exercises.
Yes, lots of mouth stretching, lots of lip whistling, lots of hydrating, all the various things that you would do. Also, kind of like a vocalist would prepare for music. That's, to a certain degree, that's what I'm doing. So you're training in the same way that a vocalist would by doing your drills, doing your scales, practicing your music. And when you go to the whistling competition, which is the International Whistling Convention, and the headquarters is in North Carolina, we have 2 segments that we do. So first round is a popular, and the second round is classical. And then for the finals, you do it again. For me, classical, because I don't have a repertoire. So I have to learn the songs. I have to figure out, which aria is going to suit me.
And you said that a cappella songs whistling is harder, or?
It's not necessarily harder, but for some people, it might be a little harder to name the tune. And it's just like any instrumentalist. You just get a more full-bodied sound when you have your background music or your live accompaniment. So.
Well, we forgot to bring the band up.
Oh, my goodness.
Today. We didn't have the band budget.
Well, when I do private parties and things like that, right, yeah, okay. I heard about that. When I go out and I gig or I do private parties, I take my equipment with me. I've got my background music. I have producers that I've worked with to create music for me so that it's... Accompaniment, yeah. Right, customized accompaniment to help to really balance the sound. Obviously, you can't have a lot of high-pitched musical instruments going on in there. They'll be competing with me.
Can you give us one of your the most popular ones, one of the most requested?
Oh, for sure. One of my favorite ones, and everybody, of course, loves Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So, do you know that one? Okay. This is for all the dads, of course.
Yes. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Of course.
Sounds great on tape.
Goes a little something like that.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
hitting those high notes, especially, is it just more challenging, just as challenging as singers to do that? I mean, is it the same?
Whole different mechanism
Really?
happening.
Okay.
There's a whole different thing. I'm not getting my notes so much from my vocal cords as from what's happening with my tongue, my lips, and everything that's happening inside of my mouth just past the vocal cords. So that's
But like a singer, breathing.
breathing is huge. You've got to do your diaphragmatic breathing. You've got to. For me, my specialty is tone. My specialty is those high notes. That's my range. So that's, that's. Yes, it's a challenge, but that's what I do.
Okay. If people want to hire you for
Yes.
their show, where should they go? The
Oh, well,
website?
I'd love people to check me out at whistlingdiva.com. They can find out all my YouTubes, all my stuff, all about my CD, and, of course, many beautiful pictures of me.
Oh, wonderful. That's the best part. We got about 20 seconds left. Can you serenade us out?
Oh.
Something?
On this last day of spring,
Oh.
Father's Day,
Oh, how about the day,
Serenade the
the
dad.
day before
Something-
summer? Can we do a little
Okay.
there
summertime?
you go.
There you go.
This Tuesday, when families go off course, Jillian brings them